about in Ephesians, it talks to us about speak to ourselves with songs and hymns and spiritual songs, building yourself up in your most holy faith. It is so powerful to release a song in your home, to release a song over your children, to release a song over your own life. Our weapon is a melody, and that is so powerful. And so that's the first enemy that we're fighting, fear. The second one we talked about before is the spirit of offense. If we have offense, we won't grow in the love that God wants us to walk in. And then the third is lust. So we know that there's lust that is increasing, right? The darkness shall increase, but the glory of God, it says in Isaiah 60, gross darkness shall be over the earth, but the light shall arise in us and out of us. And we want that light to come in and out of us so that people can know that there's hope in this time. I mean, even if you just smile in this day and age, people are like, whoa, oh my gosh, I forgot that I have something to be hopeful about. And that is what we want to be. We want to be carriers of hope. So, fear, offense, lust or lasciviousness, given over to pornography, drunkenness, or anything that would be a vice that would keep us from getting on our knees and praying for our nation and praying for the next administration and praying for God's hand to be upon that man and praying for God's will to be done on this earth, and that we would continue to be a Judeo-Christian nation and not a Marxist nation and not a communist nation, and that the outside presence of evil forces would not triumph, but that God would triumph over them all. And the last is deception, and we are not deceived because God has given us the spirit of truth, and so to build that up.
That's really good. Think about Phineas again, Phineas.
Yes.
So the reward that God gave him, this is a reward that's available to you because you're a believer in Yeshua HaMashiach. It's actually a picture of Yeshua. The reward that he gave him is that he told him he would be a priest forever. And what's fascinating about that is this is the only passage in the Bible. There's a way that you write the scrolls, the ones who are scribed who write the scrolls, the Torah scrolls, and they use from generation to generation. It has to be written perfectly in a certain way, certain order. Letters can't touch each other. It needs to be exact. Goes from, think about this, from century to century. These scrolls have been printed, written, and passed on. It's hard to believe, but we've actually met some of these scribes in Israel. It's really quite a process. But this is the only verse in the entire Torah, the only verse in the entire Pentateuch, 5 books of Moses, where he says a priest forever and forever have peace. The word shalom has the third letter of Vav, which is the 6th letter of the alphabet. It's the letter for man, is broken. You will be a priest forever, but you have a brokenness in you. That is a picture of your Savior. That's a picture of your Messiah, 100% God, 100% man, broken for you, so that his shalom could be put upon you.
Didn't also Miles, when he stopped the evil that was coming against the people of Israel because of their rebellion, when he went after that, didn't he stop the plague?
That's correct. So you have the authority in the heavenlies to stop the plague, to push back against this thing. I'm so glad that the science is now being questioned, being looked at again. There's all kinds of revocation and just kind of a review of the so-called perfect science that we've been hearing for the last 4 months. It's all up for grabs. Everything is negotiable right now. And the reality is there's going to be a renovation coming out from this thing, a renovation in the economy, a renovation in our homes and our lives, small businesses. There's going to be a renewal as we see the days and the months proceed, because there's been a lot of deception in the so-called science regarding this disease. I know it's real. I understand that. But there's also been a lot of outside forces that are trying to manipulate our fear.
Right. Miles started this whole pandemic fear with is 25% illness, 75% medical. Political, and 100% spiritual. And so I want to just address that 25%. And maybe if you do have COVID, you feel like it's more than just 25%. So we understand that. We want to pray with you. We want to stand with you. We've seen people healed of it. We've seen somebody that was on a respirator come through it. So we're not taking it lightly. We're not taking it flippantly. And we we wise about the things that we do, and we want you to be wise, and we want to overcome this for our sakes and our children's sake. So if you have a prayer need, please write in the comments your prayer need. We will be praying for you. We will get back to you. And if you have any other needs, just give us a comment, and we'd love to respond to that.
Yeah, that's great. So we're going to wind down tonight and get ready for our meeting. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We've heard from, let's see, Alaska, Tennessee, Rhode Island,
And I want to
Carolina.
thank you for supporting House of Peace Ministries, and we are so grateful for any gifts that you could help us to continue to do what God's asked us to do, to bring you the hope behind the headlines and to bring you His peace on the Shabbat. So we thank you for being His Phineas, and that you will spear the darkness of fear, offense, lust, and of deception. So we go into a little bit more detail about that. I want to give you some scriptures on those, and so you can stand on the Word of God and say, God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind.
Shabbat
Shalom, everyone.